So I'm going on from where I left off about crying. I was crying because I, as a respiratory therapist, I had seen so many people have seizures, and there's really nothing that you can do besides observe until they're done, and then if they need assistance by you with oxygen, or if they begin to code from status epilepticus, whatever. There's really nothing that you can do for a person having a seizure. Unless if they throw up and then lay them on their left side. If they're laying down, and that helps so they don't aspirate. I cried because I don't know how long that day that I had been seizing. And my husband got home and he found me like that. There's no telling. And on the, in the hospital, on the plane, whenever I got to UNC and they started working on me, I just cried because I could not believe that God allowed me to get through that. Even though, forget being paralyzed, I was just so thankful that God allowed me to be still here. So that night I cried until I woke up the next morning. And one of my old co-workers, I remembered their face, not their names. That's one thing. I remembered almost everybody's face, but I didn't know their names, and some people I didn't know how I knew them. But being in the hospital, that tells me they came in, and I always have slant. My eyes are just and they've always been like this. A patient has even asked before if I was high. My eyes aren't unless if I'm, looking up. I'm looking down right now. So, basically, just straight in front of me. I don't have, and I'm not up for doing that. That's not me. Okay? So, like I said, I'm wearing my shades because of the lighting sometimes can bother me with epilepsy. And so, one of my coworkers came by and she said, "Henrietta, get up, open up your eyes, smile, act like you're awake. They're making their rounds." And then she left. She came in real quick. And so here I am. I went like I'm crazy. That's not me. But I was going, regardless, I was going to let them know I was awake. I was out of that coma. But I'm paralyzed, but somebody had already put my head up, 30 degrees or whatever. And so here I am, and here is this crowd of hospitalists, the actual docs, and the ones that are training the residents. And so they come in and they're all just looking at me and they can't believe I'm awake. But I'm wide awake. And they ask me, who's your name? And I know my name. What's your age? No. What's your name? What's your date of birth? What year is it? And that year was 2014. But I kept telling him, and I believed with all my heart. I said, it's 2012. And they all looked at each other. And they said, "Ma'am, it's 2014. And I said, "I know what year it is. It's 2012. like, you shouldn't be playing with me if it is. And, well, then they said, how old are you? And I said, I'm 26. Because in 2012, I was 26. But it was 2018. I'm sorry, 2014. I had just turned, um, you know, 28 good anyway. It had just turned 2014 good anyway. It was still, you know, well, in February. So, I mean, it's not like it was a long time. And they all looked at each other. They kept looking at each other. And I'm like, I know what it is. I know who I am. And they said, um, who's the president? And I said, Obama. Like, who don't know that? Because I think at that point that they hadn't done the second vote, for his run. I think that's how it was. In 2012. However, but I said Obama, and so then they looked at each other and was like, okay, yeah, you can't expect that. Who he's kind of, you know, who's going to forget Obama? I mean, for real. And they keep asking me stuff, and my questions are wrong. And I don't know where I live. I don't know. They said, what color's your house? I said, it's brick. I had already moved twice since 2012. So in 2 years, I had moved 2 times. And, or more like 3 years, I mean, more so. But I kept saying everything wrong. What kind of car do you drive? I think I got that right, not for sure. But anyway, everything was wrong. And they kept trying to tell me, Henrietta, oh, except Obama. Don't forget that. Henrietta, you are 28 and you stay in a green home. And I was like, I know what everything is. What's your job? I'm a respiratory therapist. Yes, that was right. So they were saying all these things, and I basically got all wrong. Except my name, my date of birth, and Obama. That's what I knew. And that was hard to take. And I asked them, what happened? What's going on? And they said, Henrietta, we don't know. And I'm like, you don't know. Okay. What's up with my CT? What's up with my MRI? How's my EEG? What's up? How is everything with the rest of my body? Henrietta, everything's normal. Your EEG's off whenever you cease. That's it. I'm sorry we can't tell you more. There's nothing wrong. They leave. And with that, my heart sank.